So, if Zip is a nickname, what about Pipp? We all know that Pipp is the youngest sister, so a possibility would be that Zephyrina was given the nickname Zip before Pipp's birth, and that Pipp is actually her given name, being named after Zip. Although it is more likely that she was born with an extended version of her name. So, what is Pipp short for? And no, it's not Philip Pirrip. Firstly, let's look at Zip's extended name. The name Zephyrina is a variation of the name Zephyrine, which is a Christian name meaning breeze. Zephyrine, however, comes from Zephyrus, who was the Greek god of the west wind and the messenger of spring. We know that the Pegasi are strongly connected to Greek mythology due to that being their place of origin, the Pegasus being highly associated with Hercules. Zephyr Heights, as well as Zephyr Breeze, which the city has no correlation with, get their name from Greek mythology, being named after the west wind, which Zip is also named after. So in short, it makes most sense that Zephyrina is named after a city and not the other way around. Think naming your child Indiana if you lived in India. The word Zephyr itself, translating to breeze, does come from Greek mythology, overall giving the Pegasi themselves a strong connection with Greece. Following this trend of Greek mythology, I theorise that Pipp's full name is Persephone. Before anyone comments about the true translation of Persephone, give me a second to explain. It is the closest out of all of the Greek names beginning with P, as well as keeping the E sound found in Zephyrina. Like Zip's name, Pipp's name could have been altered to Persephorina, but for this video I'm gonna speculate it's simply Persephone. Persephone is the Greek goddess of spring, so it keeps the trend of spring between the two sisters, Zephyrus being a messenger of spring. Spring connotes new beginnings, which is very symbolic for the Pegasisters as they did play a huge part in Sunny's revolution. Spring also connotes cherry blossom and flowers, which fits along with her surname Petals, as well as the colour of her coat. However, Persephone, the goddess of spring, was originally named Kore, or Kori, or Kor, meaning maiden, until she married Hades, god of the underworld. This is when she became known as Persephone, literally translating to bringer of death, or destroyer of humanity. Why would Haven name her child something so dark? Does this theory still hold up? Yes it does. Most people would overlook the dark etymology of the name and just think of the goddess of spring, flowers, petals, Princess Pipp Petals, Persephone, goddess of spring, which would most likely have been Haven's intent when she theoretically named her child Persephone. I realise that Greek mythology does have a vague presence in Equestria, however, since we have had a lot of links to it in G4 with the inclusion of Pegasi, a Minotaur, Cerberus, Tartarus, the Trojan horse, and possibly more. Most ponies would overlook the meaning of Pipp's name entirely and only associate it with spring, since their knowledge and the presence of Greek mythology is clearly limited. However, Pipp being the destroyer of ponykind could still be symbolic within her character. What is the one thing Pipp is known for? Social media. The only thing destroying society and manipulating our very social lives. Before Sunny's revolution, we saw very little of mobile technology in places outside of Zephyr Heights, but afterwards we can clearly see phone usage becoming more common in Maritime Bay. Pipp is the ultimate icon of social media in MLP. She is all over it. Who other than Persephone, the bringer of destruction, who focuses on such an innovative practice? Tear down ponykind. It is likely that there will be an episode of Tell Your Tale focusing on the disadvantages of too much screen time, as seen in pony life. There could also be an episode on how social media affects her friendship, focusing on the destruction and deterioration of it due to her always being on her phone. It's fun to speculate. Haven probably just wanted to name her cherry blossom kissed child after the springtime, but the meaning of Persephone definitely means a lot more than meets the eye. Maybe it's a reminder to us viewers every time we see her face as we scroll through Twitter and Instagram of the aspects of social media that are truly destroying humanity. I will add that in the French and Italian version of A New Generation, Pipp's name is changed to Ruby Petals, due to Pipp petals sounding like an NSFW slang term in French. I would like to think of Ruby as Pipp's middle name, Ruby linking back to cherry blossom and the colour of cherries. I theorised that Zephyrina had gotten her nickname of Zip after the birth of Persephone. Zip obviously named after her speed, whilst Persephone was nicknamed Pipp, connotations of flower buds, as well as a pipsqueak, which she later uses in relation to her fans. Pipsqueaks are small and high-pitched just as she is shorter than other ponies. Me too. And Sophia Carson being a mezzo-soprano D3 to C7, it's clear to see why Pipp was nicknamed thus. Some articles theorise that Pipp's full name is Pippa, but I like to think that Pipp would personally extend her name to Pippa in order to differentiate herself from Zip, despite Haven's initial intent for their similar nicknames. Maybe this would occur during family conflicts, although in the end, the name Pipp would act as both her stage name and the name most of us would know her as today. Upon writing this, it's fun to speculate whether Sprout would be Hades or not. Would this make Phyllis Rhea? Here we have Princess Persephone Ruby Petals, or Pippa, mostly known as Pipp, or Princess Petals in the merchandise. A pony very connected with the flowers and the spring, but also symbolic of the danger and destruction that social media can have in Equestria. With that, despite the dark implications of this theory, I don't hate Pipp. Social media is the destroyer here. Pipp only accidentally catalysed it and is not the villain in any way. She's actually my favourite out of the main five and my overall second favourite of G5 after Phyllis. I just thought it would be fun to theorise and analyse her true extended name and the meaning behind it. As soon as Zip's full name was announced, I shared my idea for Pipp's full name, and many agreed with me, so I thought it would be fun to elaborate. With that, please don't harass me in the comments, this is just my critical interpretation that is yet to be confirmed or disproven by the writers of A New Generation. Either way, thank you for listening, and more MLP theories may be coming soon. I have one or two from Generation 4 that I wish to share one day, so stay tuned. Either way, thank you for listening, comment what you think, and this is Marzipan Studios signing out.